Hello everyone. So I was guided to do a love reading last night, and when I went to go cleanse the cards and start the reading, there was two different issues that I ran into. Number one, I actually somehow broke the camera on the back of my phone, and I was completely out of memory. So to me, right in the beginning of the reading, it was like something might not be seen very clearly, and you might not feel like you have the space or the capacity to do what it is that needs to happen in love and connection with others. Also, when I started out last night, as I was cleansing the cards, these first two cards came out. So let's get into the cards. I have not looked at the rest of them nor their placements, but I was guided to pull the cards ahead of time. So let's talk about them. So cards number 1 and 2. What is the overall message about love? We've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Devil card. So the overall message about love that I'm getting from these cards is like you're wishing for something to change or something to happen, but you're still sitting there alone. She literally is sitting in the wishing well. And then we have the Devil. This is where she perceives herself to be trapped, but she is not. And so it might be that because this is not specific to whether you're currently single or in a relationship or a situationship or whatever the case may happen to be, this is kind of feeling like you're stuck, like you can't move on, like you're putting your wishes out there and it's not panning out and something isn't changing. So that's the overall message about love right now. Where's my blind spot? These two cards came out together. So we have liberation. Love sets you free. It's giving you the freedom to be who you are, always exploring and learning. And then the one and only came out in the reverse. This is where you're focused only on you, that you or they are the first and last person that you guys basically communicate with and thinking of each other all day long. With this coming out in the reverse position, if you're in a connection already, it's like there might be some type of a disconnect. If you're not currently in a connection, the energies are really strange because the messages between whether you're in a relationship or out of a relationship basically is that this relationship and the connection can help to set you free. If you're currently in a relationship, it could be that it sets you free by you moving along, or it could be also that relationships with other people are actually really there to help bring us back to more of who we actually are. And so there's times when these relationships kind of fade out because they're no longer helping us to grow and expand. But sometimes there's difficulties within these relationships that cause us to grow and expand and work through these things together. So the blind spot is likely the fact that within these connections, there's actually the ability to move through those challenges and those difficulties and those difficult phases. Same with if you're single. Sometimes we keep ourselves in this cage of, I don't want to date, I don't want to see anybody, I just want to be on my own. But the thing is we really aren't growing in that space. We're not able to expand and have that additional liberation of actually truly really connecting with somebody and learning more about ourselves in that process, because there's relationship issues that we may have encountered that we really can't work through on our own. We need other people to connect with us to be able to grow and expand. What energy am I attracting? And I feel like this is a fear, deception. There's some type of like inner turmoil when it comes to worrying about love and what type of person you'll attract in. This card also says someone's wearing a false mask, a false self mask in this relationship. So maybe one person, if you're actually in a connection, maybe one of you, could be either one, is really just looking out for their own needs instead of the needs of the connection and the actual partnership. And, you know, that can definitely cause friction. And if you're not in a connection, I feel like that's where the deception, it's like, I'm afraid that that's exactly what I'm going to attract in, and probably yet again, because there's a reason that you're afraid of it. Then we've got a lesson that's already learned, communication. Please contact me. I may not respond, but knowing you care opens my heart. So a lesson that you've already learned is reaching out to other people and allowing them to reach out to you and having some type of communication. But I'm seeing him in the forefront, her as a shadow in the background. And so to me, it's like there's some type of a disconnect with this other person where communication likely actually isn't as clear as we might think it is. So I feel like the lesson already learned could be that they're holding back and they're not communicating. But it also could be that we're not willing to communicate with anybody new. We're not willing to communicate with a person to be able to fix these things. Or maybe we've already tried and it just hasn't gone anywhere. So there's a lot of different messages coming through within these cards. What's the current relationship energy? Because of you, I'm starting to see what's really important in my life reversed. So to me, that's saying, I'm actually what's important and what's needed. Although with this card coming out in the reverse, she's there by herself, she's hugging herself. So maybe it's kind of this phase of, I need to give myself my own energy and I'm not doing that at this point in time. Please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. And he's holding an hourglass. So the current relationship energy is like, if you're in with somebody else at this point in time, the more you focus on yourself and the more you put in love towards yourself, it actually makes you magnetic. We can't help where other people are at. We cannot fix them. We cannot change them. We cannot make them do anything. So we have to focus on our own side of the street and what we've got going on and loving ourselves more and choosing ourselves more. And that tends to make us completely magnetic and things can shift around. But just because you're focusing on yourself doesn't mean you have to give up on the situation. So if you're currently in a connection, don't necessarily give up on that. But also, if you are single, don't give up on love. Don't give up on having a beautiful connection with somebody else, because it is possible. What am I supposed to learn from this? 10 of Pentacles. This is where a community of people can come together and create more. And that more, the 10 of Pentacles, is all about material wealth and abundance. But like, look at the food that they've got going around. It's just sharing time, sharing memories, sharing life with other people. And that is such a beautiful thing. We're not meant to do this all on our own. Then we have, how can I resolve my current issues? 10 of Cups comes out in the reverse position. So again, this to me is that feeling of, I can't have happy family, happy home, happy life. I can't have emotional fulfillment. I need to just close in and stay by myself. And that's really not the best way to go about this. The way to resolve the current issues is to open up more, allow yourself to connect with other people. And again, it's other people coming together and trying to connect. It's no coincidence that these two cards came out side by side. The Cups is about emotional fulfillment. So that's something that you really have to believe in, but a lot of times we have to love ourselves first before we can accept opening up to anybody or anything else. Then we have, what do I need to change? Conditional. The expectations must be met, looking to be completed, wanting someone to change. This card came out in the reverse position. So to me, that's talking about the fact that there is supposed to be this unconditional love between you and other people. And when this starts from the inside out, it grows. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But if we attach conditions, I need you to behave like this or act like this, and you make it unsafe for somebody else, well, how is it supposed to be safe for you too? It's like this has to be a balanced thing, but you also have to love yourself enough to know that no matter what happens, if the relationships change, that's okay. You love yourself and you've gotten through so many things. You know everything's going to be okay. So it doesn't have to be this hard, fast, demanding line of listen, this is what I want and you need to cater to my needs now. There has to be a balance and give and take. And then there's also immaturity, still discovering themselves, lacking emotional maturity, light and fun connections. So again, I feel like it really all comes back to ourselves, because if we're not in that light-hearted, loving energy and able to really open up and look at things, you know, sometimes we've had just really crappy relationships and we've never had a great one and we don't know what that looks like, but we have to be willing to try and do something in a different way. So instead of thinking we know everything and we've got this and this is exactly how it's supposed to be, I can tell you that sometimes the relationships that most look completely unconventional are some of the best ones that life can have to offer, because there's a lot of freedom with trying something completely new with all new lenses, but it does bring out a lot of insecurities and a lot of different things that allow that past stuff to be able to be worked through and to really create change within that connection. Also, I'm seeing the two of them, they're younger and with a guitar. So I feel like if there's something that you love to do, maybe you meet somebody as you're trying something new, doing something that you love, some type of passion project. What's next in the love life? We've got the Strength in reverse. So this whale has a net around it, and she's being nurturing and loving and trying to get them out of this net. And so what's next in the love life? When this comes out in the reverse, I feel like there still isn't that trust, and maybe you just want to stay hidden in that net and going, I can't trust any of this situation. I can't trust that this is all going to work out. But then we have the Six of Cups. So if you're able to trust the situation and let things flow and change, everybody gets to celebrate and have fun together. That's such a beautiful thing. And it's a very consistent message too. Then we have the World card. So the World card is typically all about ending cycles. This came out in the reverse. So to me, it's like there's going to be some type of new phase, new beginning, whether this be with another person that you're currently with. It's like the energy can change in that connection. Or you can start something brand new with somebody else and allow an entirely new perspective and new energy to just flow in to your relationships. But again, it starts from the inside out. And then these last two are just bonus cards. I feel like I don't deserve your love. I'm worried you'll leave me when you see who I really am. And I feel insecure, which is pushing me to grow. So that actually goes with a lot of what I've been saying. So when we don't feel like we deserve somebody else's love and we don't love ourselves and we're seeking somebody else to fulfill us, it causes so much strain on these relationships that we really do so much better when we're able to love ourselves. But they get to bring out these different insecurities and these different fears and worries, and they get to bring them out so they can come up to the surface and be able to be seen and be worked through so that they can be released and have something new coming in. The fact that this is green too, really the heart chakra standing out to me, which is all about opening up to love. So I feel like there's a lot of inner work that might need to happen for really truly harmonious relationships to connect, but sometimes that has to happen when we work through things with other people and work through difficulties and really allow ourselves to be open and vulnerable and let these things come to the surface so we can see them, we can heal them, we can move forward in an entirely different way. So that is what I've got for you, my loves. I will talk to you soon.